Hey there YouTube, it's PC the Unicorn. You know, animation is in an amazing place right now. In recent years, we have gotten so many amazing cartoons that have pushed the bounds of imagination while being enjoyable for people of all ages. Gravity Falls challenged the fans to observe their show closely and try to discover mystery even before it was revealed. Wanda Over Yonder shared an amazing message that no matter how bad things may be, you should never give up on hope. Even Adventure Time, a show that started off goofy, has evolved over the years and showed the trials of growing up by following Finn's life. I mean, sure, we still have plenty of shows that suck, but the good outweighs the bad in my opinion. With all of these amazing shows, it makes me think of one question though. Do networks really treat their shows and creators with respect? I ask this because even though we live in an amazing time of animation, it doesn't feel like all of these shows and creators are being treated with the proper respect. For example, let's take a look at how Wanda Over Yonder was treated by Disney. Now, when the show first started, I didn't really give it any attention since it looked really silly to me. However, after learning that the creator of the Powerpuff Girls, Craig McCracken, made a show, I decided to give it a watch since there was nothing else on TV. I soon found myself loving the series, with my love for the show growing even bigger when I saw the Season 2 trailer. While Season 1 was good, Season 2 was even better and started drawing in many people because of its new characters, story arc, and character development. So of course, just as Wanda Over Yonder started to become very popular, Disney decided to shut down plans for Season 3 before Season 2 even premiered. Now, from what I read, Craig McCracken pitched an idea for Season 3 that would have even more development for the main characters, while also revealing more about their past and introducing a threat that would be even bigger than Lord Dominator. But his bosses toned down the idea since they felt like 80 episodes were enough and could just be aired as reruns. Well, do you know what show haven't gotten any reruns on Disney XD? Wanda Over Yonder! Phineas and Ferb ended over a year ago and the network still aired reruns, but ever since the last episode of Wanda Over Yonder aired over 4 months ago, there haven't been a single rerun of the show. How can the executives prefer just airing reruns of the show, but they won't air a single episode? I love Phineas and Ferb, but Disney also know that plenty of people love Wanda Over Yonder due to the Save Wanda Over Yonder campaign, yet Disney refuses to air reruns. Luckily, there's a movement called Save Wanda Over Yonder that is determined to convince Disney to renew the show for a 3rd season. You can find out more about them in the link I posted in the description box. But if you think what Disney is doing to Wanda Over Yonder is bad, look at how Cartoon Network treats Adventure Time and Regular Show. Adventure Time and Regular Show used to be Cartoon Network's biggest shows and were advertised constantly. They launched multiple games on the Play Store, got tons of merchandise, and Regular Show even got their own movie, with Adventure Time supposedly being made into a major motion picture, but neither show has been aired any reruns in months. The only time you can watch Regular Show or Adventure Time live is when they're airing a new episode, and that's just once a week. Seriously, the only thing that they air consistently on Cartoon Network nowadays are Steven Universe, We Bare Bears, The Amazing World of Gumball, Teen Titans Go, Mighty Magisword, and the Powerpuff Girls reboot. I can at least understand Cartoon Network airing reruns of Teen Titans Go since it is one of their most popular shows for some weird reason, but do they need to air it over 10 times a day? And why the heck are they airing Scooby-Doo movies and Tom and Jerry? Seriously, instead of airing reruns of Adventure Time or Regular Show, the network will just air an old Scooby-Doo movie on weekdays from 10 AM to 12 PM and a Tom and Jerry cartoon that was made in 2006. I have nothing against Scooby-Doo or Tom and Jerry, but why air movies that were made years ago instead of airing reruns of Adventure Time or regular shows? Plus, they treat Sonic Boom horribly. They never air commercials to promote the show and only show it once a week at 7 a.m. in the morning. Heck, they didn't even bother advertising that Sonic Boom was returning for season 2 when it came back last October. Now, while Cartoon Network and Disney may have their problems, they are nowhere near as bad as Nickelodeon. While Nickelodeon's schedule may have improved slightly due to them airing reruns of The Loud House, they still aren't treating their shows fairly, especially Harvey Beaks. Seriously, the only time Nickelodeon ever advertises Harvey Beaks is when they are airing a premiere week of new episodes. Once the week of premiere is over, Nickelodeon never air reruns of Harvey Beaks on their main channel. Instead, Nickelodeon airs SpongeBob 10 times a day along with a bunch of brain-dead live-action shows instead of the shows that need more recognition like Harvey Beaks. But if you think I'm mad about how Harvey Beaks is being treated, the creator is even angrier. It was recently revealed that Harvey Beaks has been cancelled, most likely due to low ratings, which makes sense considering how Nickelodeon never bothered to air reruns on their main channel. The creator of the show, C.H. Greenblatt, the same guy who created Chowder, explained how frustrated he is about how his show was treated through interviews and posts on his Tumblr. Here's one of the things he posted on his Tumblr a while back in regard to this. My frustration comes from a network that is so trapped by the high ratings of SpongeBob that they can't afford to nurture a show and give it time to find an audience. They work in waiting day trading, and ultimately that mentality will be and has been terribly detrimental to their brand. Nick used to mean something. Now it's terrified people scrambling to stay on top not through innovation but through reruns. This line is true on so many levels. It is no secret that SpongeBob is Nickelodeon's biggest show since it's how they make tons of money. Like CH, I also remember when Nickelodeon used to mean something, when it would air a wide variety of cartoons like Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, Avatar The Last Airbender, and more. Now the only cartoons they bother to constantly air on Nickelodeon is SpongeBob, a show that should have been ended, Alvin and the Chipmunks, a show that according to CH not even one of the heads of Nickelodeon even enjoys, but airs it on their network since they bought the series at a good price, and The Loud House, a show that I actually really enjoy. CH points out that out of the entire year, Harvey Beaks has only had 15 hours of airtime, which made me realize that The Loud House has had more airings on Nickelodeon in its half a year than Harvey Beaks has since it premiered back in 2015. Seriously, I love The Loud House, but Harvey Beaks deserves the same respect. How does Nickelodeon expect Harvey Beaks to be successful if they never bother to air reruns on their main channel? And don't even get me started on how they only air TMNT and Miraculous Ladybug once a week too. But as bad as networks treat their shows, you should see how they treat some of the creators. For those of you who are unaware, the creator of Invader Zim, Jorge Vazquez, recently pitched an idea for a show on Disney XD called Very Important House. The show focuses on a 12-year-old girl named Farley who moves into the very important house and suddenly finds herself in the role of caretaker of the universe. Sounds like an interesting show, right? Well, so did Disney since they bought the rights for the show but then decided to not make it into a series. This basically means that since Disney owned the show, Vazquez can't pitch the idea to another network unless he buys the rights back, which would cost him $500,000. This is a really messed up thing for a network to do, and no one deserves to be treated like that. Though this isn't the first time a creator was screwed by the network they work for either. In 2008, Amy Winfrey made a Nicktoon called Making Fiends. The show was about how a cheerful little girl named Charlotte moved to a depressing town called Clamborg that is run by an evil little girl named Vendetta. Now, I remember enjoying the show for its simplicity, and from what I looked up online, the show had both great ratings and great reviews. Yet for some unknown reason, Nickelodeon just cancelled the show. Then there are those shows that were cancelled like Symbionic Titan and Young Justice just because they weren't selling enough toys. A show can have great storyline, complex characters, and amazing animation, but can be cancelled if it's not selling any merchandise. Heck, some shows are cancelled because they are pretty much never advertised, which then leads to poor ratings. Then there's the whole issues with networks and reboots. Now, I have nothing against things being rebooted since there's always a chance the reboot can be good, although as of late that hasn't exactly been the case. However, it's pretty obvious that the whole reason a network will reboot a show is to make a profit. They think rebooting the show itself will make it successful, but that almost never works without good direction. Dave Thomas, a supervising producer of Wander Over Yonder, said this on his Tumblr about the reboots when asked a question about Cartoon Network messing up the Powerpuff Girls legacy. Studios think the characters are the star, but it's really the people who made the characters. It's their sense of humor, their timing, their artistic sense that people fall in love with. No one would ever dream of forming a band and calling it the Beatles. You might own a name, you can put them in mop-top wigs, but without the original people, everyone knows it just won't be the same. I completely agree with this, since when making a reboot, you should try to get as many of the original staff as possible so it is as enjoyable as it once was. At the same time, however, I do realize this can be impossible to do sometimes due to members of the staff either passing away or working on other things. When rebooting a show, the people and network behind the reboot should take inspiration from the original and look what made it so good in the first place. I'm not saying that they can't make the reboot different, since this can lead to an amazing reboot like the current incarnation of MLP. But sadly, it seemed like networks would rather try to make the reboot appeal to the audience by being hip and cool. Heck, Cartoon Network refuses to greenlight Galactic Kids Next Door, a sequel series to one of their most popular shows, Kids Next Door, that a lot of people are asking for, but will reboot the Powerpuff Girls, a reboot that no one asked for. And don't even get me started on the whole shows that go on for too long situation, in which a network will continually renew a show, even though that show really should have ended a long time ago. Look at SpongeBob, it has been around for almost 20 years, but that wasn't supposed to be the case. The original creator, Steven Hillenburg, originally planned on ending the show with the SpongeBob movie since he didn't want the show to jump the shark. However, Nickelodeon wanted more episodes, most likely because SpongeBob was their cash cow and they didn't want to let it go. Cut to today, and many of the original viewers will agree that SpongeBob is a shell of its former glory. After the first 3 seasons and the movie, the show started to go downhill. The characters of the show have been flounder-wise and have lost the qualities that made them so enjoyable to watch in the first place. Patrick has just become more and more stupid with each season, and not in a funny kind of way. Mr. Krabs has gotten so greedy that I pretty much hate the character now. Sandy cares more about science and the safety of her own friends. And SpongeBob just isn't as funny as he used to be. There was a SpongeBob episode I learned about from watching Mysterious Mr. Enter, in which Mr. Krabs terrorizes Plankton in a whale costume that leads Plankton into wanting to commit suicide. What the heck, Nickelodeon? So, with everything I said, do networks treat their shows and creators with the respect they deserve? Well, it's kind of complicated. On the one hand, networks do treat some of their shows with respect and recognition. For example, since The Loud House is such a popular show, Nickelodeon has started airing more reruns of that show on their main network besides lame live-action shows. Heck, Disney greenlighted Journal Number 3 to be published because they recognize how much people love Gravity Falls and would love to have their own Journal Number 3. On the other hand, though, networks can treat both of their shows and creators very horribly. Like I mentioned earlier, Disney has yet to air the single rerun of Wanda Over Yonder, Nickelodeon treats Harvey Beaks horribly, and Cartoon Network still doesn't air reruns of Adventure Time or regular shows. So what exactly can we as fans do? Well, there are a couple of things we can do. First of all, tell the networks what we think of their choices. Networks like Disney, Nick, and Cartoon Network have pages on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and other social media sites. If enough people leave their thoughts, then the networks may start to listen. For creators whose show was stolen like Jorge and Vesquez, contact them and see if they're willing to accept donations so they can buy the rights back for their shows. Start a campaign to bring back a show that you believe ended way too soon and deserves to be finished. You might think trying to do a campaign for a show can't work, but it can. Kim Possible got a 4th season thanks to fans, and Young Justice is finally getting a season 3 after years of people clamoring for another season. I believe we can make a difference in the entertainment industry and let them know what they are doing is wrong, but only if we all work together. But what are your thoughts on my question? Do you think networks treat all of their shows with respect? Are there any shows you think the networks don't treat with enough respect? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, feel free to ask me questions in the comments or on my Tumblr that is located in the description box below. Until next time, this is PC logging off.